Because men are useless. I mean,
this headline from The Hill, it caught my eye. Most young men are single. Most young women are not.
Young men have fallen faster than any demographic in America over the last 40 years.
It's a different world now. Like, we don't need men the way that they used to.
Nobody needs men!
The future is female.
Men and women are drifting further apart, and society is crumbling because of it.
A fascinating debate has broken out about the value of marriage.
You've kind of got the trad con versus red pill thing.
This men's rights crowd that sometimes just goes too far the other way.
You need to stop acting like grown boys and infants and actually become men.
Marriage is a bond, and it's a sacred bond.
It's a machine designed to extract resources from you.
Now many of the red-pilled have taken the position that it's bad for men to get married.
Hannah Pearl Davis, or just Pearly things.
One of the most controversial faces in all of the internet.
She goes on to say that marriage is a terrible deal for men.
Because if me and you were in a business contract, you would never sign a contract where I am paid to leave.
Gee, what could go wrong there?
74% or something of divorces are initiated by women. Men have everything to lose, primarily their own children.
Men get killed by the courts and by divorce laws.
I had no idea that courts of family law were courts of equity, not courts of law.
Because in family court, you don't need evidence to accuse someone of abuse. You need no evidence. When you guys say get married young, a lot of these men don't know what they're signing up for, and you're not going to be there when their entire life falls apart. I interview them on the other side.
I didn't meet my son until he was 15 months old.
How much did you spend trying to get him back?
On legal fees alone was about $200,000.
Before you know it, you're homeless. You're literally just thrown out onto the street.
We absolutely reinforce bad behavior from women.
Wives are taught to leave their husbands, and then daughters grow up without their fathers.
Family is the foundation of society.
Every problem in society comes from single mother homes.
A lot of women will just chase this negative rabbit hole of happiness, endless happiness.
Feminism's biggest failures is it lies to women. We tell women to date as many guys as possible. We tell them to put off family into marriage.
You are allowed to leave your perfect husband. You are allowed to end a relationship with a really great boyfriend.
Oh, freeze your eggs, have an abortion. What? You're evil.
I don't think there's anything else in life that we actually ever go into preparing to fail.
Right.
Like if you have the mentality of this is going to go wrong and be pessimistic, naturally the outcome is going to be that it's going to fail anyway. Yeah. It's self-sabotage.
And that's the thing, like women are so willing to leave marriages because they're not happy. This is not about happiness. The most important thing is the children. And the problem is we have a modern society where it's me, my feelings, leave when I feel like it, instead of doing what's best for the kids.
This myth that we live in an age of male privilege. Where's my male privilege?
They think, well, men have all the rights. They have all the power.
Privileged patriarchal system that we have.
Why doesn't our society care about men's rights?
I have no friends,
No wife, and no social life.
Men are alone in this situation. Men are homeless. Men are thinking about eating guns.
I've seen so many men on the brink of suicide and they didn't do anything wrong.
How are you equal if the men are the ones that have to fight and die to defend the country? The men are the ones that build and maintain all the infrastructure.
Women are helplessly dependent upon men.
The so-called deaths of despair from suicide, overdose, or alcohol, 3 times higher among men than among women.
culture is telling men, you are no good.
You got to get your act together.
I think men have failed themselves.
What kind of a man are you? What kind of a woman are you going to attract?
If men are in trouble, so are women.
Everybody knows this is a huge problem, but nobody wants to admit it.
Every single woman at the table said they wanted a man.
500K,
500K,
200K,
300K,
200K.
Am I crazy?
Everything is really set up against you to fail as a man.
If men make less than women, women don't want to marry them.
So you know who wants more economically and emotionally viable men? Women.
I don't want to be an independent woman anymore.
I don't want to be a strong, independent woman.
I'm over it. When is it going to be my turn?
Where are we meeting the men that don't stop?
I can't keep having these same conversations.
The only simp here is you, Pearl. You simp for men.
I think you simp for women.
She's a provocateur. She says stupid stuff, but Pearl is right about this.
It's already happening. It's just not out in the open yet.
Now it's just hookup culture is going to be our fairy tale ending because men don't want a wife and women can't find a husband.
The future, if everybody follows your path, is there is no future.
We go into population decline, and our economy goes into decline.
Civilization will crumble.
The American story does not end well. This is an existential crisis, failing young men.
What's going on, people? Do you have a message you want to send your ex-wife? Do you want to call her a bitch? a cheating, lying scumbag? Well, I have the opportunity of a lifetime for you. $20K and you can get a personalized divorce message in the documentary that we are attempting to make. They have demonetized me, kicked me off of Instagram 3 times, TikTok 8 times. A lot of you don't know I used to have 1 million followers on TikTok, and they kicked me off. They deleted my account. But the GoFundMe link is in the description. So if you want, we're at $31,000. I do appreciate the donations from Eric, Whitney, Anonymous, Tomislav, another Anonymous, and Craig in the last 24 hours. So I really, really appreciate it, guys. Thank you, Aaron, the top donation right now on this documentary. Okay, so happy 4th of July, everybody. I love the 4th of July. You know, the best 4th of July I think I ever spent, I was in Europe when I was 18. I was living with an old nanny. And I decided that I wanted everybody to know that America was the best. So my 18-year-old self was in like all 4th of July gear. And we went to this, like, they have these like outdoor festivals and everyone was in normal clothes. And my old nanny and I were just in this like 4th of July gear. It was pretty funny. Okay, so welcome to another episode of Pearl Daily. Today's July 4th, and I want to say happy Independence Day to all of you, and thank you for celebrating it here with me today. I am very patriotic, and there is no place I would rather live than the United States of America. A lot has happened in the news lately, and modern women are upset and whining about it. President Trump keeps winning in the White House. Young men are becoming more conservative. DEI is going away, and there are many things that sane, intelligent people can be optimistic about. Modern women are losing their minds and having the audacity to go online and talk about how much they hate the United States of America and how they are not going to celebrate Independence Day this year. Oh, boo-hoo, we'll miss you so much, ladies. Modern women are so entitled and so safe that they don't know how good that they have it here. I live by the adage, if you don't like it here, then pack up your stuff and find somewhere else to go. America is one of the only countries where the people that say they hate it will refuse to leave. Make that make sense. I really think that some of this is performative. These women have to know that deep down they benefit from living in the United States of America and they would be stupid to live anywhere else. But the need to virtue signal is just too strong. It's crazy to me that so many women would criticize the U.S. knowing how much worse it would be if they went to other parts of the world. We are going to look at some of these delusional women and why they hate the United States and are refusing to celebrate Independence Day and how they are refusing to celebrate the holiday. So pay close attention. This is Modern Women in 2025. America is the greatest country in the history of the world. I love what I do. I love talking to you guys, and there's no other place I would rather be than in the United States of America. All right, so we got... What are we going to rate her today, chat? I say 5.56. She's got nice lips, pretty eyes. So, yeah, I'm gonna say 5.56. Oh shit.
Hi friends. All right, so us who are disappointed with this big, beautiful bill, let's just cancel 4th of July because it's nothing to be proud of. Being American, I feel being American was actually a dream, was actually something to be proud of. I don't think many Americans are proud of this, or Americans that have compassion, because I know MAGAs are brainwashed. But if you are saddened by this bill, just cancel 4th of July. Please, because it's just another fucking day.
Bitch, you will not stop me from having a margarita. When I have a beer today, you will not. I should have brought a beer on stream. I didn't think about it. Can someone Uber Eats me beer? Happy 4th. Thank you, Tyrone. I hope you're Tyroning. $10 super chat. We got Chris. Happy Independence Day. Semper Fi Pearl. All right, let's see what we got next. Oh my God, a girl with a neck tattoo deciding to tell me what she thinks.
Who's with me in not celebrating the 4th of July because we live in a fascist oligarchy and not the land of the free?
America, America, God, His grace on thee. Look, if you don't like it, go live in a real oligarchy. Oh, this lady's twice. Okay. All right, let's see who's next. Oh my God. Why would you go on the internet looking like that? People used to have shame. People used to you know what I mean? They used to get embarrassed about this kind of stuff. All right, let's see what she has to say.
What I'm doing for the 4th of July, baby, I'm minding my black ass business. Do you understand? America's independence. For who? That wasn't for us, baby. Look at the times that we're living in. Y'all worry about what we doing for the 4th? You need to be sitting at home trying to figure out how to get the passport to Ghana, baby. Like, what I'm doing for the 4th. Minding my motherfucking business. You should be too.
I should be. Screw you, bonnet lady. Bitch. I'm having a Bud Light in peace. In peace. The audacity. All right. Now we got a lady in the cornfields.
It's the 4th of July.
All right.
It's the 4th of July, and so what? I'm not celebrating. I'm going to spend today doing chores on my farm and trying to find moments of peace and joy wherever I can. But to be fair,
we should have the NSYNC song playing and a deportation. Ooh, how great would that be? Any woman that says she hates, oh no, that's probably too fascist. So that's why women can't be in charge. My initial thought was, if you say you hate America, you get a deportation letter, and then we'll play NSYNC. Bye, 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 bye. Or no, Mariah Carey? What is that from? Sometimes I hear songs, I forget.
to be fair, I haven't celebrated the 4th of July in a long time. I mean, what are we celebrating? Independence from England? So that a couple of white men could make their own playground here in America?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, we are. Back-to-back World War champs, baby.
Freedom? Freedom? Freedom would mean that people had homes, that people had food to eat, that everyone in America had a place to go when they got sick, when they were hurt. Freedom would mean that I could go anywhere in the country and hold my wife's hand while I was walking down the street without fear of getting beat up or worse. We don't have freedom. We don't have independence. We are living in this glossed over reality of what our country is. And so today, like every other day, I'm going to take a hard look at how I can help my neighbors who are not going to pretty soon have health care. Not because they're going to lose their health care to Medicare, but because we're going to lose our hospital probably. Rural Eastern North Carolina depends on the things that they've cut from the budget. And before they see a loss in Medicaid and Medicare, we're going to see.
You know, I'm glad I get paid to listen to women nagging because you guys have to do it for free.
The loss of our hospitals. I'm going to be here helping to figure out how I can feed people, how I can create affordable housing out of nothing. I'm going to be here another day trying to figure out how I can maintain hope and joy, how I can lift people's spirits.
The treadmill. You should lift your feet and get on the treadmill.
As we walk through a horrible, horrible time.
I'm having a great time. I wish I brought a beer. I feel like this is the one show I could have brought a beer to. All right, let's see what we got. Is she the last one? Oh, no, there's a few more. Okay, hold on. Okay, this is the one we're on. Oh, my God. There used to be a time...
I couldn't be more proud of my neighborhood.
There used to be a time...
I couldn't be more proud.
There used to be a time in society when women like this, you just wouldn't list, like they couldn't talk, or they would put like a noose on them. But now they can make TikTok accounts.
Be more proud of my neighborhood. Everyone in my neighborhood today, literally everyone who did have a flag still up, decided to take it down for this weekend because they will not be celebrating 4th of July due to how Mexicans, Hispanics, everyone is being targeted right now due to the posting that was posted by Laura Loomer saying that there's 65 million meals to be fed. She didn't pull that number out of her ass. There are 65 million Hispanics, Latinos in the U.S. as of now. And she's basically implying that we might as well take all of our Hispanic community and put them into alligator Alcatraz. So, yeah, they're targeting Latinos. They want us all gone. And they're openly saying that they want to feed us to alligators. So, yeah, it's pretty obvious. They're
saying they want to feed you to alligators. Okay, now we're being dramatic.
We're not celebrating 4th of July while we're not participating in this holiday because
I mean, I don't care if you don't have a Bud Light. I mean, we're all going to party. Oh no, we're not going to the party as a protest. Mid woman. No one's going to miss a mid. If you were an 8, maybe they would be sad. But you're mid, you know what I mean? Yeah.
No one is free. Not until you're targeted. So if you feel free right now, it's because you're not being targeted yet.
I know, and I never will be. 'Cause I'm a ginger.
But Latinos right now are feeling it. We're feeling
the gingers have been here a long time. So
feeling it. We see how we're being treated. We see how our families are being treated. And we're just...
My boyfriend's Hispanic. And he's fine because he was born here. He was born here, yup.
He's not going to participate. We're not participating in the way that everyone is being treated right now. So again, I'm super proud. I'm super excited that my neighborhood has my back and isn't celebrating 4th of July this year. I couldn't be more proud. Just because...
It sounds like you got a bunch of simps in your neighborhood.
Things are going into effect and your president is putting things into effect does not mean that you have to blindly follow. For the rest of you who are waving, who are telling those that are waving their flags to go back to their country, hey, I don't remember people of your descent. European Americans did come over on a boat. You didn't.
Yeah, but we came and we won. Try doing that next time.
Didn't have legal papers. You kind of came over and destroyed everything and took over. I don't remember people like you looking like you here. This is our native lands. So we're actually in our native lands. So can you say the same? Can you say you're in your native lands as well? Because you can't. These aren't your native lands. For those who are saying you're waving your flag from a country you refuse to go back to. We were born here. Most of us were born here. And it's not like we're waving a flag to a place that we refuse to go to. It's called culture. We're waving our flags because we stand with our culture. We're proud of our culture. Our culture.
I'm a 49-year-old man, and I just put a big flag up in my house and spent a bunch on fireworks. America, USA, USA.
Culture runs through us.
I'm sounding a little too right-wing. Do you hear that? It's the world's smallest violin playing. Mm-hmm. Do you hear that? It's how much I care. USA! USA!
Just like Americans are proud of their sports, I think this will make it really easy for you to understand. Just like you guys rock your jerseys from a different state, but once you finally move and you go to a different state, you don't just up and quit your team, right? You guys idolize your team.
You don't just start worshiping another team and
I've lived overseas twice. I love America.
And following.
The only thing I miss about Germany, they did have really good kebabs. I do miss the kebabs, but they didn't have Chipotle when I lived there.
Another team. No, you still continue to support your old team. You continue to wear those jerseys and root for your old city and town. It's the same thing, but with culture. We're standing for our culture.
Hell no. Do you know what's funny? I knew someone from a different country. And I asked him who he would support if like the country was warring. And he's like, I don't want to go back there. I'm Team America. Well, fair, she is Hispanic, so she is in a way a colonizing Spaniard. I know. You know what I mean?
We stand up for our culture and we stand with our culture. So once again, I'm so proud of my neighborhood. Some of my neighbors follow me, not all of them, but I know some of you guys follow. And I'm so proud that, honestly, this morning to just go outside and pick up the mail and see that all the flags are gone for this weekend.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. Let's party. Let's party. Okay, who's next? This lady. Oh my God. 4th of July is canceled when you look like that. You think you have the audacity to ask for anything.
Okay, so what are we doing tomorrow? Because we are 110% absolutely not celebrating America. We are not celebrating the 4th of July. That is ixnayed, not doing it. Honestly, didn't plan on doing it anyway, but especially not after today. So.
The audacity. You should make your way to the treadmill. Okay, so question for the callers. Best country in the world. Been watching you for quite some time. I love the way you think and keep it real. Thank you, CRX Joe. What a guy. Thank you. Okay, so why do so many women hate America but stay? There's nothing. I've lived overseas. I lived overseas for 3 years total. So it's not like anything's stopping these women from moving. So why don't they just move? Why do you think men are more patriotic than women in the modern day? And do you know any women that spew this kind of rhetoric? So when you call in, Doug MPA, get on the line now if you have a chance. But when you guys call in, please keep it short and to the point. Answer one of the questions that I'll say, what do you got for me? I'll say something like that, or I might repeat one of the questions. And then you can say your answer. You could say if you know somebody or you have something, but make sure it's on topic, okay? And then try to keep it under 2 minutes. And then if we have further questions, we'll ask. But we do want to get through, the callers. So why do women hate America but stay? Leave. I left for a few years. And by the way, when I lived overseas, I want to do a tangent really quick while we're waiting for callers. When I lived overseas, guys, I missed America so much. And I want to talk about the things that you don't appreciate. You don't appreciate if you grew up in America. Number one, the big roads. When I drive here, you could be a terrible driver and still get from point A to point B and not die. I'll say that. Because you have so much space here. You can weave, you can go. You don't have to worry. In Europe, everyone's on top of each other. We have stoplights. They have roundabouts. I hate roundabouts. I don't care. They might be more efficient. I literally don't care. They annoy me. I don't like roundabouts. 3, I lived in Germany for a little bit and England. The food is not better there. It's not. I guess England, the only good food in England that I liked was when people from other countries moved to England and started a place. But overall, I'm from Chicago. Best food in the country. I have Chicago and LA I would rate as my number 1 draft picks for cities with the best food. Other thing, I'm tall, okay? By the end of my 3 years, I was so tired of small bedrooms. I was tired of small houses, small doorways, small toilets, everything's tiny because they don't have as much space in Europe. I love the space in America. You know what else? In one country, I can go from the mountains. I don't have to go through customs or the passport or whatever and learn the laws of the land. I can go to Hawaii. I can go to Alaska. I can go to the mountains. I can go skiing. I can go to the beach. What other country has that? Maybe Canada. I don't know. But that was pretty cool for me. People are friendlier in America. When I first moved to England, I said hi to random people. And I know there's certain parts of America, well, this isn't the norm, but I would say hi. And people would look at me like I was crazy. I'd be like, hey, what's going on? Hey. And they would stare at me like I was nuts. I'm like, I'm American. So anyways, I lived in London. Hold on, I got a super chat. Did these ladies miss the memo about being a patriot isn't about posting a flag or fireworks? It's what's on the heart. It's the way we carry ourselves, our actions, and what are what make it America. Doug MPA, how's it going?
Hey, America, America, God shed his grace on thee. Let's go.
USA,
Independence
USA.
Day, all day, every day, America, baby. Let's go.
Why don't these hoes just move, Doug? Move.
You know, it's these liberal women, it's the will to virtue signal is just too strong with them. I told you, in the past, women used to tell the female-friendly version of the story, where they're the heroes and the victims at the same time. Mm-hmm. But now they're trying to live the female-friendly version of the story. And the only place that they can do that is here. All these protests all over the place against ICE, ICE, baby. Doom, 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 doom. Haven't tried doing that in their home country. Understand what I'm saying? The women have the freedom to be able to do this, and they don't want to give it up. So they're talking out of both sides of their mouths. And guys, remember, capitalism, patriotism is a masculine thing. Communism is a feminine thing. You cannot tell me any different. Tell me I'm lying.
Why don't they go to the communist countries? They exist. Go.
I have no idea, bro.
Get on a plane.
But you know what? Go ahead.
I said, get on a plane, a train, anything.
Yeah.
See ya.
And you were talking about your, I never really needed any evidence to show me why America is the greatest country in the world. But I spent some time in West Africa, right? Okay. And guys, you want to get a lesson in how great the United States is? Go to the African continent. Go to the African continent. I swear. One of the biggest differences between the United States and the West African countries I've been to is America has a mental health network. We put crazy people. We have places to shelter them. In West Africa, crazy people just walk around naked in the street eating out of the garbage. I couldn't believe it. The stuff I've seen, the safety alone, Pearl. The fact that college girls can drink themselves half to death and wander around on a college campus at 1:00 at night and nothing happens to them.
Yeah, and then they complain they can't walk alone at night. I'm like, you guys do it all the time.
It's crazy, guys.
Roulette wheel, $4 super chat. Thank you. CRX Joe, please hit the like button. She's earned it. Thank you. You guys are so nice. You don't even have to super chat. You can watch for free. And still, you guys, out of the kindness of your heart, hit that super chat button. I have the best audience ever. I couldn't ask for better.
Yeah. So happy 4th of July, guys. And make sure to get through it with all your fingers and your toes, because I'm going to say it right now. The only thing better than July 4th is July 5th when I get to wake up and look at all the news stories of all the people burning their houses down with fireworks.
So sometimes it's survival of the fittest, baby.
Or Pearl, why is it the day after Thanksgiving you see people still putting frozen turkeys in the oil fryers, and the oil boils over because the water expands it and it sets their freaking house on fire? How is that still a thing?
You know what that reminds me of? There's a trend a couple of years ago where you call your mom and ask her how long to put the turkey in the microwave. I did that a couple of years ago. Actually, it was pretty funny. My mom's reaction.
Did you ever do the thing to your dad where you told him that you went to a car shop and they charged you $100 to put air in your tires?
No, but that would be really funny.
These girls were calling their dad and saying, "Yeah, I just left the car shop, and they told me that to put air in my tires, it cost me $100." The dad on the phone, "What? Did you pay it?" "Yeah, of course I did."
Yeah. Oh my gosh, my dad. Yeah, he would freak out.
You should get that on camera. That'd be hilarious. You'd be like, "For what?"
Eric said $20 super chat, Murica. F yeah. USA. USA, Chris. No promises to Doug on keeping all my fingers and toes. Big boom equals bigger patriotism. Yeah, going overseas, and I went to the European, like more westernized countries, and I still, oh my gosh, when I went to India, I was like, please, God, bring me back to America. No offense to the Indians out there. I did enjoy it. They got me a sari. I did an Indian dance. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, there's nothing like America. There's just no place on the planet like it.
And here's the thing, because I've been to West Africa multiple times, but it was only for a limited amount of time. So it's a whole different mindset when it's like, okay, this isn't like America, but I'm coming back in like a month or 3 weeks or something. But I couldn't imagine like moving over there and living there. There's no way. You want to read the pro reads on the website real fast?
Oh yeah. Let's see. Let me switch. Okay, let's see. Pearl Reed, it wouldn't be America if your deportation plans were in place, would it? Okay. And then let's see. I'm Australian and I love America. USA! USA! Someone said they lived in Germany, but there's no feeling like America. And I enjoyed. I could tell you things I liked about both of the places, but I could even tell you things I loved about India, but I just would never. I did live in East London, yep.
And I wish that there was a way that we could do an exchange program. All these liberal broads, we could exchange them for legal migrants who want to work and contribute. Because how many immigrants have you met that have come here legally, Pearl, who are more patriotic than a lot of the women that you've met?
Oh yeah, there's some people. There's someone I'm thinking of in particular where he said. I said, well, would you ever give up your passport from the country you're from to go to America? Like, would you ever feel like you're giving up a piece of your home? And he's like, nope. He's like, nope. I would give it up easily.
I'll tell you a story. So, I met this woman who was West African, and she got her citizenship, and she got to toss out her old passport to get a U.S. passport, and she said her whole life changed. Her whole life changed. Just walking around internationally with that blue passport, her whole life changed. It's like you're a completely different person internationally when you have that blue passport.
Oh.
And she broke down everything. She said, I go back home to Africa. I go to Europe. She's like, even places I've been to before.
No,
I flash that passport and it's a whole different ballgame.
No, that happened to me because I didn't realize people got stopped in customs and had to get questioned and stuff. Because I always traveled internationally since I was a kid, but they're just like, right this way, come on through. And then I worked with someone that was from Zimbabwe. And oh my gosh, it was such a pain in the butt, like bringing him different places because they would stop him, they'd question. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's very different. Pearl Charles from Vermont, the smiling G guy, keep doing the voodoo you do. And Doug MPA, rock these holes fat to say shit because of all of us. And we are standing at the wall. Thank you, Piso.
Okay. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. We're already 20,000 subs past 2 million. We're on our way to 3 million. If you go to Pearl's website and join for $9.99 a month. That membership is there for a limited amount of time because we're in the process of redoing the website, making some upgrades. So make sure to go over there and hit that join button over there, and we will take our first caller. We have Hayden. Hayden, are you there? Hayden.
Hayden.
Hayden? He's probably watching the YouTube, so he's like 10, 15 seconds behind. Okay.
Hello.
There he is.
How's it going, Hayden?
It's going all right. How about yourself?
Good. So what are your thoughts on the topic?
The topic? I just don't understand how women don't appreciate America. Like, come on. You have so much more rights. You wouldn't be able to do this in like I don't even know, every other country.
Do you have any personal experience with it? Do you know somebody that thinks like this, or are you from another country, or have you been to another country?
No,
What's your experience?
It's people throw it around a lot. Like when you're at restaurants or like in public, people talk about, man, how they hate, like sometimes they hate this country and it's so like fascist or stuff like that. It's thrown around a lot. Like it's just a toy. And that's pretty much it.
Cool.
And I just don't understand.
It's crazy when I see liberal women caping for Iran of all places.
Exactly, dude.
It's like
that's what, like, it just doesn't make sense.
What would happen to you if you were a woman in Iran? Are you serious?
You would be stoned. If you did that, you would be stoned.
I'd love to see them go. I'll pay for their ticket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Hayden,
they want to like protect them so bad, but don't just go over there.
I'll vlog it, ladies, please. Just please vlog it.
So Hayden, do you have any theories as to why we see so many women who are anti-patriotic, anti-America in 2025?
You know, I think they're like getting in their head that their rights are being stripped away from them from the modern media. They're thinking that they're thinking like the propaganda that like liberal media poses, that are saying, oh, your abortion rights are gonna be taken away, your health rights, you won't be able to have a baby, you have to take that stuff away. It gets in their head and they think, oh, my rights are no longer there. I'm pretty much a slave now. And then they go on Twitter, go on Facebook, do rants about how America is fascist and they have no rights, and it just spreads like a wildfire.
Yeah, exactly.
That's probably yeah.
Cool.
I agree.
So again, PA, you got anything else?
Well, Hayden, thanks for calling. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for calling. Yeah.
Yep. See you, man.
Okay. We're going to bring up... We have a couple of new callers. I'm going to bring them in first. Terrell?
Yeah. Hey. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. How's it going?
Hey, Pearl. How you doing?
I'm good. So why do you think women hate America but stay?
I think a lot has to do with mental health. A lot of them are mentally ill. They really don't understand what the world is like. Like I'm an actual traveler. I mean, is it Brian? The other brother that's on the phone. How he's well, my best friend, his wife is actually from Nigeria. Okay. And he's been over there multiple times for extended months. Mm-hmm. And he's told me what it was like what you described.
Yeah. Doug NPA is my name.
Doug. Sorry, Doug. I thought it was my bad. I thought it was Brian. My bad. So I've seen South America, right? I've been going down there since 2015. And he's been going to Africa since like 2018, right? And we've seen, the two biggest continents on the planet. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. In comparison, you know what I'm saying? Because South America is actually bigger than America, mm-hmm. but a lot of Americans don't know this. and they don't have welfare. Like they don't have, like you said, the mental health. I see people on the streets like it's bad. Like they just really don't know, and they're very ignorant to the world. History. They're ignorant to history. They're ignorant to economics.
Terrell, So you've been in Nigeria?
No. Okay, my best friend, his wife is Nigerian.
So let me tell you, only the rich people have any kind of credit or anything like that. Like a small percentage of people. So most people, it's subsistence living, where like what you make for the day is what you use to eat. So, because I eat pretty much everything. But I had to draw the line when I was in West Africa because they have this stuff called bush meat. And bush meat is where they have vendors on the side of the road and they're cooking meat and you don't know what it is because they literally had to catch something. They go to the traps in the morning and then skin whatever they catch and then cook it and sell it on the street to get money to eat that day. Literally bush meat. I was like, no, I can't. No, I'm not. Yeah. So you a lot of Americans, they've never seen subsistence living where what you make for that day is what you use to eat or to pay your bills.
I agree. Like I'm like honestly, me traveling to Brazil, Peru, Colombia, Panama, I've seen like, oh, how good we have it. And when I say like, literally, if you're outside of America and you're making $200 to $300 USD in your, in your expat, or you're receiving your military benefits and you get $3,000-$4,000 a month outside of America, these women don't understand. Like, they don't understand. That man living like a king. Here in America, $3,000, $4,000 ain't nothing. Like, it's nothing. But they don't understand. Like, they don't understand the sacrifices that these men have made. They don't understand what we've done. They don't understand what the president is doing, right? Oh no, just keep giving all our money to these other countries. What? I love Trump. Like, I love what this man is doing.
He's doing. Why are people acting surprised? He's doing everything he said he was going to do. Everything to a T.
Well, and why do they want people to stay that are not here legally? You didn't come. Like, why are you entitled to stay if you did it the illegal way? You're a criminal. Get out.
Yeah. And here's the thing. And I'm going to say this for the chat and everybody. If anyone uses the little emotional appeal, well, what's going to happen when all of the undocumented people leave? Who's going to clean the toilets and who's going to go to you know what? Let's find out. How about that? We've been kicking too many problems. We've been kicking the can down the road for too many generations about problems like that. And now we have to fix it.
Hey, there's a lot of women getting laid off recently. So
yeah,
start cleaning the toilets.
Most of them are Pearly. They're not wife quality. They don't cook. They don't clean. So like they said, they need to be applying for your wife's school. They need to be These women need to be re-educated.
Well, they could start by learning to clean toilets, and that could be their new job. So
they could. There's lots of men that have toilets for them to clean.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot. Listen, a woman is welcome. The right woman is welcome into my life. But otherwise, I'm on money mode, not monk mode, money mode. Okay? Like, and another thing that I'll tell you, on the point that again, when you say you can't do this in other countries, Pearl, you mentioned that. You can't do this in other countries, how they would treat you, right? Let's just say Colombia. I have a buddy that stayed 10 days over they allow you to be down there for 6 months, right? Mm-hmm. He stayed 10 days over. They charge you $50 a day. He couldn't leave Colombia without paying $500.
Oof.
So oh, we got it so good. No, listen, we're babies. A lot of these people, and I know, and again, when you said, do I know women? I know women that have traveled down there. Guess what? Go to these other countries. The men don't want you.
Or Terrell, how about this? There, you see, I call them B-dubs. Black women. They're going to Africa. They're going to Caribbean countries, and they're trying to do this, showing out, snapping their neck, getting up in guys' faces, and they're not playing that. This one girl was talking about how she bought land in Ghana and was trying to build a house, and she's trying to do it. She went there a couple of times, but she was trying to do the construction over the phone, right? And so this construction company was totally screwing her over and taking
send me the money. Yeah,
money, right? So she flew over there and she took the construction manager to the local magistrates. So that it was her, the construction guy, and the magistrate in an office. And she's yelling and screaming about the guy, call him all these things or whatever. He gets up out of his chair and just puts his hands around her throat. It's like, you will not talk to me this way. And she's looking at the magistrate, and the magistrate's just looking at her like, well, what do you want me to do? This one British woman, she was in Angola, right? And she had these two big old suitcases, and she was crossing a crosswalk, and this military jeep, I don't know if they didn't see her or what, but slammed on the brakes and almost hit her. Well, she flipped them off and kicked the jeep, like kicked it, right?
Yeah.
The soldier got out of the car.
Oh my.
Threw her on the ground and literally kicked her a bunch of times, saying, how dare you kick this military jeep? You're disrespecting the military, blah, blah, blah. Literally beat her on the ground, and no one did anything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Listen, they don't understand how sweet they got it here. Yep. And I can tell you like this, I've learned this years ago, like my best friend, okay? He's first generation, so he's, as they would say, he's not FBA, right? Foundationally black, right? Oh, my family is a slave. So listen, don't nobody care about all that. All this separating us Bloods from Crips, bro. People don't. I don't really care. I don't care about that. So you know what he told me years ago, bro? If you go to Africa thinking that you want to be Martin Luther King, you will disappear.
Yeah. Yep.
He said you will disappear. Then he also educated me on like, the women. Oh yeah, go ahead, call the police. Oh, they're gonna help you. They gonna help you correct your wife.
Yep.
They gonna help
that
you
too.
Like, man, listen, I saw the craziest thing ever. There was an old lady and she had killed someone's baby. Literally, man, the whole town came out and gave her street justice.
I was about to say that. Street justice, yep. That happens all the time.
They put tires on her and barbecued her.
Yep.
Mexican style. Oh yeah. What? Man, listen. Like they said, go over there. Oh, you these boss bays, these boss bees, go to Uganda, go to Tanzania, go to South Africa and watch what happened. Go to West Africa, go to Ghana, go to Nigeria.
Yeah, let's
go to Sierra Leone. See how far they get you. That attitude.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for calling in, okay? Call in anytime.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Pearl, for having me up.
Yeah.
Have a good one. Okay. Let's do... This person says, iPhone 220.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well.
What do you got on the topic?
Yeah, I just have to say that I think American women, they don't like the country, but they stay here because they're followers. They're not leaders. I think that they're sheep, and I think that the main thing is they want to be comfortable. They want to be around their friends, their family.
So you think that they stay out of sheer laziness?
I mean, it's not even so much that they stay. It's that they complain and then they stay. Like, Whereas a man, he would leave. He would go and
He wouldn't even
he would go
complain. He would
somewhere
just
else.
move.
He would make a change. He would build something. He would develop something. He would build another bridge, you know? Whereas a girl, she'll just complain about it, but yet she'll stay here just because she has some sort of comfort around her, some sort of family, friends, and like a safe space, a safe zone.
Yeah, you've told no lies at all. No lies.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what I think. But hey, I appreciate you letting me on.
Thanks for calling in.
All right, thanks.
Okay. We got new people in. So next up, we have our good friend, Sean. Hey. Oh,
what's going on?
Sean, how are you?
I'm an American on Independence Day. I'm living freaking great.
You actually did leave America, didn't you?
Yes, ma'am.
So,
hey Sean, I'm sorry to interrupt. Can you put your email address in the private chat of the Zoom, please? Because you gave it to me once. I don't know where it went. I've been meaning to contact you, so put it in the Zoom chat, okay?
Okay, I got you. You a busy man. I got you.
All right,
Keep
man.
going.
Appreciate it.
So why don't the women do what you did? Why don't they leave too?
Some do, but most of them don't. You know, some are overseas also. I said it in a bit, Doug. Some of them go overseas. Some of them go, live their life. But most of them, heck no. They don't even got a passport, Pearl. What are we talking about?
When they go overseas,
30% got a passport.
When they go overseas, do you see them get like humbled? Because obviously it's hoflation in America.
Yeah, but they're probably shaming like expat men. They're like, oh, you wouldn't pull that in America. So you're over here with ling-lings and you're over here with,
you can't
African
handle
shorties.
a strong American woman.
Exactly.
Strong, independent woman, an American woman. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they get humbled real quick because nobody's really checking for them like that. Not at all.
And do they typically stay, or do they typically go back, the women that you see go overseas?
They go back. They go back because their sexual marketplace value is little to none like that. I mean, they can only hook up with other expats for the most part because a lot of the other guys, they have traits and behaviors that are far worse than what men have in America, meaning patriotic, misogynistic. And so they just like, dang that. Plus, they usually don't have the economics. And so they're like, let me go back to America and see if I can get me a Bill Gates or a Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Go
ahead, Dad.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, so when you were saying about the women and why are they doing it, I understand it, but I would usually say it's a maturity thing. I think we have a maturity crisis. I don't know if you heard of a 304 math or something, but anyway, he was speaking to this. Like most people have maturity, they haven't graduated past kindergarten. And most women see the world through kindergarten lens where it's like, if we're nice to everybody, everybody should be nice to us. If we leave everybody alone, everybody will leave us alone. And so they approach the world like that. And so most of the time when we're talking about like other countries, they're like, oh, we could just be nice to everybody and everything will be great. They don't know nothing about no GDP. They don't know nothing about enemies and people trying to come at you. So they can't appreciate something like, independence, United States of America and what it means. So at the end of the day, man, take the vote.
Exactly. Do you know any women personally that talk like this, that they hate America and they want to leave?
Oh man, my mama, my aunties, everybody, only my sister, she doesn't so much. But yes, I know a lot of people like that. Expats overseas talk like that. So when they see me rocking the mega, they looking at me like.
Do you ever offer to help them get their passports?
Passports for the other countries?
Yeah.
Yeah, I be telling them like, hey man, go stay here, never go back, but they don't do that. They know better because all their money comes from America. That's the only thing that's making them survive over here. But at the end of the day, they end up busted, disgusted, bills out of whack, and they got to go back anyways.
I'm curious, do you miss America at all? Or are you perfectly happy with your decision to go overseas?
No, I'm perfectly happy. Now, there's things I miss about America, like toting my gun, being down in Texas, being in the restaurant and listening to, country music and riding my car. So there's some stuff I miss, the freedoms, but I love it over here. And again, I always say, only because of America, I live like a king. I mean, the American dream is so strong that you can live it anywhere in the world. It was kind of like what you were saying, Pearl. You were traveling with somebody from Africa and they was getting bum rushed and taken into side rooms. But when you have that blue passport, you just walk through people's country without documentation and visas and don't even get bothered for the most time because you're an American. So
yeah, I didn't
American
even know
dream is
people
golden.
got stopped because I'd been to Japan by the time I was 12. I'd been to Germany. So I'd been traveling internationally from the time I was really young. And I was like, people get stopped in customs? What? And they asked him a few questions and they actually sent him on a plane right back because he didn't answer right. He wasn't doing anything illegal, but he just didn't have the right answer. And so they sent him back.
Get out, go back where you come from. Yeah, that is pretty bad, man. So a lot of expats.
I was
have
pissed.
that,
I paid for that ticket. You know what I mean?
No refund, Pearl, and you're going back economy.
I know. I was like,
it's bad, man. No shower, no nothing. Just get back on that plane and skedaddle.
yeah. Yeah. Doug
No
MPA,
reimbursements, no nothing.
Doug MPA, you got anything else?
No, I just it's crazy because they say 80% of solo travelers from the United States are women.
They are.
So how are these women? First off, I mean, that correlates with all the debt that they have. Because remember, modern women will stare down the student loan debt and all this stuff to travel. But you think all these women traveling overseas by themselves would open their eyes about how good America is? But these women travel and still hate the United States. I don't get it. How's that possible? Yeah. How could you go to certain places and be like, oh, I would rather live here than the US?
I could tell you what it is. So when we went to India, there was a part where we stayed at a resort. And when we stayed at the resort, my family, it was super nice. Like, you're getting pampered, you're treated like a celebrity, whatever. The next part of the trip, we stayed with my parents' employees. So in like their extra room or something. And so we had more of a taste of what it's like living there. So if you go somewhere for a weekend, it might seem like, okay, let's say you went to Chicago for a weekend in the summer. You might think Chicago's amazing and awesome. What you don't see is the mass shootings that happen. What you don't see is the cold ass winters, because you're going in like a party fun environment. You're going to get like the best of the city. You're not going to see the highs and the lows. And so, if you go to Mexico and you stay at a resort, it's pretty nice, but that's not the reality of living in Mexico.
Yep. It's like, I've been to Jamaica multiple times. I've been to Negril. And people are like, oh yeah, most people go to Kingston, and Kingston's a rough area, and I've only been to Negril, so I have no idea what they're talking about when they talk about if it's like Kingston. I'm like, what? So
cool.
Yeah. Hey, also put it in the back chat, Doug. So let me know. I'll put the email there. And then all I would say is July 4th, baby. I'm gonna have a bunch of ling-lings screaming "I love USA" tonight while drinking some goddamn whiskey. USA, USA.
You should take a
USA.
video. I'll retweet it on Twitter and put America.
America.
I got you. They're gonna be screaming "USA, kill the enemy." They're gonna be screaming all the American songs, man. It's funny. It's hilarious. Yo, the American dream is global. The new empire. Let's keep going to another 200 years plus. USA all day, baby. And F the UK.
That's true. Thanks for calling in.
I was going to talk to you, buddy.
When I lived in Germany, I had a T-shirt that said "Back-to-back World War Champs," and I wore it all the time.
Let's go.
I wore it all the time. And the Germans thought it. The Germans have a sense of humor. They thought it was funny. Or maybe I was just 18, and they're like, I'll tell her whatever she wants to hear. Either or, I had fun.
Awesome. All right, buddy. Always good talking to you.
See ya.
All right, peace.
All right. Let's bring up Eric. Has been patiently waiting. Our good friend Eric. Eric, what's up, buddy? Look at him all decked out. Look at that. Let's go.
Eric, how's it going?
My friend. Oh, he's probably watching YouTube. Give it 10 seconds. Guys, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. We're on our way to 3 million. Thank you for all the super chats. In fact, we just had one that just came in, Pearl, if you want to read it.
Back-to-back World War Chants. I'm looking for that T-shirt now. Do you have one in your merch store? I don't have a merch store right now, but when we redo merch, could you write that down as one of the potential designs?
Yeah, I will.
Hey, Pearl. Hey, Doug.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going great.
Look at that shirt he's wearing. Look at that. Let's go.
Can I get a
USA?
USA?
Let's go.
You betcha. One of the youngest countries on the planet, and yet, damn. I mean, look at everything we've done since 1776. And when I say we, I mean our forefathers and, and the women who stood behind them, not me. Because I really haven't done shit, actually. It's that's one of the things that sucks about the modern era is when you look back at, your forebears and you see what they've done, it seems like it's really hard to make a splash now, because they did all kinds of insane stuff that helped form this country. And I think that's one of the problems with, all these people, not just the women, but, also the male feminist, predators who say they hate America. It's because they're too comfortable. They whether they have their own income or whether they're living in their parents' basement, they've got their Starbucks and they got the DoorDash and whatever. And all of this hate America stuff, the only reason they're saying that is because they're comfortable in America. And they know they're not going to have to live in a place like Jamaica or Puerto Rico or whatever. And, like I've been to, I want to say I've been to 37 different countries, most of them in the Pacific, due to my work. And I've been all through Europe until you get to like the borders of the former Eastern Bloc. Like I've never been to the Ukraine. I haven't been to Poland, but I've been to Germany, Belgium, Holland, the Netherlands, Britain, obviously, Ireland, and then in the Pacific, Jesus, I've been to a whole bunch of different island nations in the Pacific, most of them U.S. territories, and I've also hung out and done shots with most of the countries that are in the Antarctic Treaty, because I was in Antarctica for quite a while. So we're talking Russians, Australians, New Zealand. God, who else? It doesn't matter. But the thing is, I visited an awful lot of places, and they're great places to visit. But I wouldn't want to live there. I was raised in America, and the town I was raised in had a massive military presence back in the 70s and so on. And it was like being a church mouse on the Death Star, I mean, there was just all this American might around all the time. And I was like, I can dig this place. You know.
So
But,
why don't the women go overseas? Why do you think they complain about it? Why don't they leave?
Well, there's actually two sides to that coin. Like I said earlier, I think a lot of the women who get on TikTok and bitch about America and by extension the patriarchy and whatever else, they do it for likes and clicks because they know that they can do it right here in America without facing any consequences. The only reason, God, I forgot what the other side of the coin was. Jesus, I'm getting old. Man, I'm going Biden mode. The other side of the coin is that a lot of them travel simply to collect a shitload of selfies to put on Facebook to impress their friends. You know, it's like, oh, look at me, I'm in Santorini.
To get smashed by Juan, Tyrone.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, of course they want to get smashed by exotic dudes, you know. But the main takeaway is they come back and they upload all their stuff to Facebook and impress their friends, and essentially virtue signal about how fabulous their life is. But they do come back to America in most cases. Yeah. Because this is where the comfort is.
USA! USA! That's what Danny says. Yeah. Thank you, Danny, in the chat for the super. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's... I don't see a point in like wasting you guys' time talking about this stuff, but you know, it's just one of those things where they're looking for a reason to be Joan of Arc, right? And if that reason is raging against the patriarchy or raging against America or raging against ICE or raging against Donald Trump, that's what they're going to do because that's the current thing. And they're perfectly free to do it here. Now, try going to a place like Iran and raging against the Ayatollah.
Yeah,
let me know how that works out for you, honey.
Or even the Latinos, they're waving the El Salvadorian flag and the Mexican flag. Yeah, try doing the stuff they're doing in LA, back in your home country, and see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. And you even look at the immigration standards. You know, when I retired from the Coast Guard after 27 years, I got since my specialty was in disaster response and, mostly oil spill cleanup, I got a super good offer from a company that had bases in various places. And one of the places I had been that I really liked was Christchurch, New Zealand. And the reason I didn't take that job, and I'm going off topic here, is because if I took that high-paying job in New Zealand while I was in the midst of going through a divorce, if the court took that income into account and then they pink slipped me because they considered my job done after a couple of years, I'd still be on the hook, for a shitload of alimony that, based on income I wasn't earning anymore. Right. So I was like, I'm just going to hang out on my retirement here in Arizona.
Yeah.
And,
makes sense.
Because, I was like, that looks like a road to ruin to me until I have my divorce finalized. But, getting back on topic, there's an awful lot of people in America, I'm not sure you've noticed, who rage against machines that do not exist. It's all about, it's a convenient thing to do in order to get likes and clicks. Mm-hmm. Be controversial.
You have, especially modern women, they've never even lived the reality that they're complaining about.
Oh yeah, well look at
things are so terrible, but like your life isn't even like how you're saying it is. It doesn't exist.
True. Yeah. Well, it's like there's very little difference between gays for Palestine and chickens for KFC. right? I mean, it's pretty simple once you suss it all out. But, as far as I'm concerned, the only reason that a lot of American women get online and rail against America is because there won't be any consequences for doing so, and they know they'll get likes and clicks. That's it.
Yep, you
They'll
got
get
it.
attention.
Yeah. Rugby says, Pearl, huge fan, love you, and love the stance and awareness you're bringing to many issues in today's crazy society. Thanks for being a voice of reason and sanity. You know what he ended it with? USA! USA!
All right, Eric.
Yep. All right, you guys, you're going to kick me out of here, right? Which you should.
Thanks for calling in.
Oh,
yeah,
thanks,
thanks.
anybody.
Hey, thanks for your time. Hope I didn't bore your audience to death.
Have a good one. Okay.
Yeah, any super chat. $100 super chat. And I'll sing the national anthem. $200 and I won't.
So AJ, what's up?
What's going on, guys? Can you hear me?
Hey, AJ, how are you?
What's going on, guys? America. That's what's going on.
All right, so give it to me. Why won't these women leave? They could just, they keep telling me America's so terrible. I mean, there's flights. Let me look up. Flight to, where's the #1 country they say they want to go to?
Italy.
Yeah.
Right,
Is it Italy or Spain, right?
There's one for $500 from New York.
Or you know that they always, they always lord the Canadian healthcare system over us when you see how bad it is now. Canada's cooked. The UK's cooked. Sweden's cooked, right? So all these countries that they want to go to are totally cooked compared to us. And the thing is that America, we've done such a good job that we only compare ourselves to utopia. You know what I'm saying? We look up and not to the side. Because if you look to the side, you realize that America is the best country on earth. Think about it. There's no better place. The United States has the smallest gap between the majorities and minorities of anywhere else in the world. You think that minorities in China or Mongolia or Vietnam or parts of Africa have the same rights? You know what I mean? It's crazy. Here's the thing. I think that there's a very Amerocentric mindset of critique, right? Where they only look at the United States and have the whole like noble savage where everywhere else is so great. That's why you see the whole gays for, Smalestein. I don't want to say the name of the country, or the whole feminists over there. Did you guys see those Americans who flew to Egypt to protest the whole Gaza thing?
No, I didn't. What happened?
Yeah, and they were like, "Oh, Egypt's going to be so welcoming and great," and then they ended up in Egypt, and the German chick is like, "Oh, they took our passports and they beat the women in the face with a rifle."
They wanted to fly into Egypt and then do like a caravan of protests all the way to Smalestein from Egypt, and Egypt detained them all and deported them.
Yeah, and they're like, and they were stomping a woman on the ground. It's like, it's Egypt. Women get stomped in Egypt. That's what they do. You know what I mean? It's just crazy to hear, like how out of touch that just not just just young people in general are, but especially young women. They absolutely
young liberal women.
Yeah, that they can just go to like Morocco or go to like somewhere where their values are diametrically opposed to ours, right? And then that they get treated okay. There was a podcast, this is like years and years ago, and this girl had said that that she bought land. She was one of these like your PhD B-dubs, these black chicks. I'm gonna leave America and go to my homeland of Africa, right? Mm-hmm. So she bought a bunch of property in Ghana, and I guess they had done her deed wrong. So she goes to the like the DMV or the the little title government place, and she's like, why are you taking so long and blah, blah, blah. And the guy behind the desk grabbed you. You know how your parents grabbed you by the cheeks? You know, grabbed you by the cheeks and said, if you don't shut up, I'm going to knock you out. And she waited to see if all the African men would help her. They looked at her and said, and she sold all her property and left. And then on the same podcast, this girl said that she was in Senegal. She was a British black woman. She was in Senegal and she almost got, she was crossing the street and one of the military police, because you know that in these countries, they have military police. There's regular police, there's military police. You don't mess with the military police. She walked out in front of the car, so the car almost hit her. He honked at her. She kicked the car. She said, and then he got out of the car and he pushed me to the ground and quote unquote started pummeling her. Like this military cop started stomping her out in the street and nobody helped her, you know? So these women, they hate America. They act like America's horrible. This is how bad it is. There's this liberal woke TikToker. She's this bald Asian girl with like a bull ring in her nose. And she's like, her whole thing is that she was adopted by white parents. So she was schmafficked, you know. I don't want to say the T word, but, you know, brought to this country. She was, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She was brought to this country illegally, meaning like what they're trying to get Diddy for. You know what I'm saying? That's the equivalent, was that instead of, oh my goodness, somehow I was blessed by being adopted by white middle-class parents into the richest country on earth, that she was brought to America against her will.
Bruh.
Like, would you rather end up in a Chinese orphanage? You know what I'm saying? What are you talking about? So I think they should all go, and we should have an exchange program. Because the most patriotic people that I know are my legal immigrant friends. You know, Ethiopians, Romanians, Cubans, Taiwanese. They all got American flags.
Yeah.
USA, A-OK, man. We should have an exchange program.
They're like, you can have our passport. We don't want
Seriously.
it. Yeah.
Seriously. This is why I honestly think that we should do like 2 years, like mandatory civil service. Not military. But civil service, it should be like a 3-month boot camp, and then you gotta like work. But then they should also be sent to another country for like a couple of months, just so they can see what's going on.
You know what? The person I asked about if he would give up his passport, I was kind of trying to see how far I would take it. He would take it, and I said, "All right, would you denounce your home country, never go back, and just say I got nothing to do with it? I don't like that, like publicly." And he's like, "Yeah, easily."
What?
Yeah, he said, "I'll leave. I want to come to America." That's what I would do.
Yeah. There's people who die on the way here. To come here. It's so crazy. Like people don't understand until you've seen. I've been to Argentina, and like outside of like Buenos Aires stuff, they have these shanty towns of people that live in these places where their houses are made out of tin. You know what I'm saying? And they just live this horrible existence. People don't understand how great that America is. And here's another thing too. They don't understand how much, because you see people taking Iran's side in the whole conflict. Like, you're winner. Not only are you showing out for friggin' Schmalestein, but you're showing out for Iran. Like, are you serious? And can you imagine if anyone incurred the wrath of our American military? You know what I'm saying? There's the guys that I know that are itching to get in a plane or get in a boat and shoot something.
It's just
you know what I'm saying?
It's just like in Los Angeles when Trump activated that group out of 29 Palms, California. Those guys. They said they're itching to get some. He deployed them in Los Angeles. Oh my God, go!
And it's to the point now to where it's like your privilege is invisible to those who have it, and the college-educated, upper middle class white woman is the most dangerous
Oh my God, I know.
Person on the planet,
Oh,
because they can be
no.
victims and empowered at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And I always think it's funny that these liberal chicks, right? They always try and do the whoop-de-whoop and say that it was the white men the whole time. Well, if they do say that white men were pillaging the whole world, who are they bringing the spoils home to, right?
Yeah. Well, do you know what? I was on a space the other day, and I was talking about DEI, and it was like a black woman in the space, and she's like, "Pearl, you know what? You know, white women are the biggest beneficiaries of DEI," and I'm like, I know. I'm scared of them. I'm like, I don't want to see. I don't want to see a female pilot. Like,
well, did you see the further reporting on that helicopter crash, where that captain, the instructor was a warrant officer, so he was lower than the woman who was piloting, and he warned her multiple times to not be up so high and to make a left, and she literally didn't do it. And there's that, and the crash into a plane, and like 60 people died. They literally have evidence that she wouldn't do what her instructor said to do that could have prevented the crash.
Do you guys know what the noble savage theory is?
Mm-mm.
So the noble savage theory is where, academia has this thing where, the indigenous peoples were all kumbaya, smoking the peace pipe and getting along just fine until the evil white man came and introduced, racism and sexism and all this other stuff, which is not true. Because, all the indigenous peoples, Africans or whatever, were all bopping each other upside the head with clubs, right? So that kind of goes into where people think that everything bad comes from Europe and that everyone else was getting, and now that's transferred to America. People think that everywhere else in the world, even right now, is just fine until America sticks its business or its toe in there, and we're the problem until they actually go to these places. But hey, look, I think we should have an exchange program. I think we should ship all these wokes that are trying to, protest ICE and all this foolishness, send them all to friggin' El Salvador and put them in Bukele's or put them in the alligator. What is it called? The alligator, whatever it's called, that orange man's in making. But all right, you guys. Yeah.
Thanks for calling in, AJ.
I appreciate you guys. America. Bye, guys.
USA. Chris says, I'm impressed with Pearl even as a host. She hits different. Modern women want to be heard, not listen. Pearl only listens when she wants to listen and engage in dialogue. Keep doing great things. Thank you, Christopher. Thank you. I appreciate the encouragement. And and for that, you get a USA. USA.
Let's hit the like button, please. We'd really appreciate that. There is 608 people in here. We have 355 likes. Let's keep 100% engagement. Thank you for all the super chats. I really appreciate it. And hit that subscribe button. We have 8 dislikes. Who are those people? Those are haters.
A dislike? It's probably the women in the TikToks.
I know, right? Exactly. We're going to let up
filter. So next, Cam says filter. So next message. Okay. USA.
Next up, we have Daquan. Good to see you again, buddy. How are you?
Hello. How you doing?
How's it going, Daquan?
How you doing? I'm chilling. Happy America's birthday.
Thank you. So what do you think? Why don't these women just leave? Why don't they go hop on a plane? I just looked up a $500 flight to Italy. I know it's not cheap. It's not everyone has $500 to spend, but I'd imagine if you're, being tortured by the American government and it's just so terrible, you could come up with $500.
Well, the problem is they don't want to leave the greatest country on earth. That's it.
Are you sure? But they're telling me it's really bad. You don't think they are? You don't think it is?
No, like you were saying before, if you ain't never been in those countries, you don't know. You know, a lot of people think everything is similar to how it is over here. So we don't really know until we done been. You know what I'm saying?
They go to a resort and they think they'll be treated like that day to day.
Yeah, they'll go to the most safest neighborhood in Congo somewhere and think that's it. You know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Have you had any eye-opening experiences outside the United States where you're like, whoa, I gotta get my butt back to the United States?
Yeah, when I was in Laredo, Texas. After Laredo, Texas, I had walked across the border. I think it was like a turnstile. I had my passport and nothing on me. And when I was in Mexico, first of all, the cash exchange, I'm like, yo, what's this, $1 to 17? That's too much math for me, you know? You know what I'm saying? So I had went in the bar. It was chilling because I was right on the edge, and then my internet cut off. And I was like, yo, I can't even phone home. You know what I'm saying? So it was chilling, though.
So you walked into Mexico without your passport?
Yup, they let me do it.
So how'd you get back?
Oh, shit. Oh, well, when I was coming back, all of the, I guess the immigrants or whatever, they was coming across the bridge, and they wasn't saying nothing to none of them like that, but they stopped me. Saw a 6'3" African American. He like, yo, what's up? Da 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 da. Where your stuff at? You from America? I'm like, bro, I'm like the most American person ever. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they had gave me shit or whatever, but then I'm like, yo, y'all gonna make me stay in Mexico?
Do you have a passport now?
No.
Bro, are you serious, man? Come on.
No, see, I don't know. I'll probably get it soon, but I don't want to be no passport, bro. You know what I mean?
But you should have one. I'm not even going to get into this discussion with you, man. You need to get a passport and at least experience other countries for your own sake. You don't have to do everything for women, man. Come on. You need to go outside the country just to be able to experience what it's like.
I mean, yeah, true. I mean, I'm gonna get it eventually. I want to see, a lot of different things.
He's like, he's already in the best one. He's like, why?
I know, right? Damn, and that's fucked up. That's how I feel, you know. There's a couple other.
I can't fault you there. I can't.
It's like go see silver. Go see second place. Go see World War champ losers or World War losers. Kai says
trophies.
Kai says, LOL, my next regular message was my message. I don't really get it, but USA.
There's 50 states here. Each state is like its own country. So I'm in Jersey or whatever. So that's our country right there. And then if I go to Arizona, it's kind of like I'm in Mexico. You know what I mean? We could go to Miami and
you
it'd
go
be
to
like
Hawaii,
Cuba. It's so
you
good
go to
over
Alaska,
here. Yeah, cold as hell, but yeah.
Hawaii.
Oh no! I mean Alaska, not Hawaii. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for calling in. Call in anytime. All right.
You already. I got that name drop video for you coming soon. So.
All right, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, buddy. I was good talking to you. All right.
Who we got next?
This person, it said iPad Pro.
Well,
you're on mute. It just says iPad Pro. You're on mute. iPad Pro going once. iPad Pro going twice. iPad Pro going 3 times. He's probably listening to the YouTube, so in 10 seconds, but we're going to put him back in the waiting room. And next up, we're going to bring up Will. Will is coming in. Will's audio is connecting.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Will, what's going on?
Not much, Pearl. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. So tell me, why don't these women leave America? I'm waiting on them to go.
Well, because on some subconscious level, they know it's better here. They know. Come on.
I like it here.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. We have a good material quality of life. We still have a good amount of freedoms. Like, where can you do better?
I can't.
I knew that.
I've been overseas. I can't.
Yeah, I've traveled a fair bit. Europe is pretty nice, or at least was when I went in 2009 or whenever that was. I also went to a small country that's been in the news recently in the Middle East.
Okay.
Had a miserable experience there, dude.
Okay.
They're very rude, extremely rude.
Yeah, I just, you know, I've been overseas and for me, I feel like this was better.
Yeah, I think it is better. I mean, I still like it here. I don't like the direction the country's going, but I think it's going to be a while before it stops being excellent.
Yeah. Eric says, first time commentator to previous callers. Print, women do things based on peer reviewed and opinion, even dating. They'd probably pick more mid guys, but they're afraid of being judged. Evolutionarily, they stayed in a village and were judged by the community. Thank you, Eric.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to riff on that. On the women topic, women just go, because women are physically weaker than men, they just go with power. Like, women have a knack for perceiving, like, what is the dominant cultural narrative? And even if it makes absolutely no logical sense, they just roll with it because they have to.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like, if you go read 1984 by George Orwell, he wrote specifically in that book, he said young women were some of the most like steadfast enforcers of the party regime.
Really?
Yeah, that was in 1984. True story.
Oh.
Could you imagine if women had the physical capability and power of men, how society would be screwed?
Oh, yeah, it would be a Karenocracy.
It would be crazy. Because remember, everything that women have physical power of, they abuse. Pets, kids, elderly.
Yeah, didn't you make that point, Pearl? It's like when you look at like women specifically, they actually abuse each other and children more than men abuse them.
Women are not nurturing. I just don't even. How do we get this idea that women are nurturing? Every person's mom I know was like a terrorist, and they're way bitchier than the dad. Like the dad's like, oh, it's fine, let the kids play, and the mom's like a terrorist over you.
Yeah, same here. The most abuse I received as a kid was from women. It was my teachers, or it was like parents of my friends.
Yeah, like
I always say, who's the first person, especially with young girls, who's the first person to say you're too tall, too short, too fat, too thin?
Your mother.
A woman's boobs are too big, too small. You got a big nose. Your nose is too small. You know, who's the first person you hear call another woman a whore? It's your mom. 100% your mom.
100%.
Pearl, I want to know if this happened to you. When I was in kindergarten, we had this rule where if you had a birthday party, you had to invite every single other kid in your class so nobody felt left out. Did you guys have that?
Up to a certain age, but I surely remember when they stopped because I was not invited to a few.
I'm older than all you guys, so we never did that. No.
Oh, really? Because we had that. And so like I went to like Chuck E. Cheese when I was in kindergarten, and we had to invite everyone, including like there was a couple of boys who were just like real doo-doo heads. And they cornered Chuck E. Cheese, pulled off his tail, and then like chucked it in the ball pit and like played keep away. And I just remember feeling so embarrassed that I was like, ugh, we had to invite these idiots.
Because your mom made you invite the guys?
No, it was the teachers, dude. It was like a school policy.
What?
Okay. Oh, we didn't have a school policy, but like it was kind of the moms would tell us to invite everyone. But I only had like 25 people in my class. So.
Yeah, same here. But I think if you look on like a national level, like what I just described, that's kind of what's happening, right? Well, we've got this like Karenocracy of privileged white ladies who are like, oh, we have to invite everyone because people can't feel left out. And then they pull off Chuck E. Cheese's tail and everyone is left, feeling like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
I agree 100%. I agree. It's like have you seen that guy in the UK? And he goes to these rallies where people in the UK are rallying for immigrants, but then he has like a bunch of immigrants with him. And they're like, oh, yeah, you're for immigration, right? He's like, yeah. He's like, well, I have some immigrants with me, and we want them to stay at your house. And they're like, oh, well, I don't have any room. Like, okay, well, then what do you want them to say then? Well, I don't have the room though, but you're out here advocating for more people to come in.
Yeah, but Laura Loomer did that with Nancy Pelosi. She showed up at Nancy Pelosi's lawn with illegal immigrants and put them on her lawn.
Oh, I remember that. That was the Hamptons, right? They bust in a bunch of them.
Yeah, she just went to Walmart and found them.
Oh my God. Well, next time anyone is like, oh, there's so much red tape for deporting illegals, it's like, they got deported from the Hamptons, lickety split.
No, that's so true.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Happy to chat.
Thanks for calling. Call in anytime.
Later, y'all.
I got one more. USA for Eric. Thank you for the super chat.
There's some more super chats too.
Did I miss some?
Yeah.
I thought I read them.
No, Eric put in another one.
Women are all about gossip, drama, and reputation. Did I not read that?
Oh, did you? Okay.
Oh, I thought it. I'll read it just in case. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I read it in my head and I thought I read it. All right. Women are all about gossip, drama, and reputation building or destruction. Everything is surrounding clout chasing. Nothing is about merit. USA. And then first-time commentator to the previous callers. Women do things on peer-reviewed opinion, even dating. They'd probably... Oh, yeah, we read that. But USA.
Next up, we have Slavic Americana. You're on mute. Slavic, are you there? Slavic, you're on mute. Slavic.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing? Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July. Tell me, do you want to leave America or are you good here?
So I have left America and I always come back. I grew up on and off overseas, and I still think America is the greatest country in the world.
So why don't the other women also leave that say they hate it so much here? Because I've been to a lot of countries too, and I love America,
Or why do you see so much anti-America sentiment with so many modern women?
Well, I definitely think it is probably more common among women, but I do think with the passport bros, there's a little bit of that sentiment amongst them as well. But, they, like you said, haven't experienced actually living in the country. They go there for 7 days and look at museums and, they don't actually have to try to make a living. And I think that's a big part of it, is that America is the land of opportunities. And I think there is a lack of appreciation for that among women, especially. I think men, there's different parts of America that they don't like.
Yeah, well, they just don't like the women. I think they're okay with the country.
But, I think that they also, some of them have found out the hard way that women in other countries aren't always superior.
True. Well, yeah, that's true. Some of the worst cases I heard were passport bros, to be honest.
But hey, you know what? Dude, don't forget, all those passport bros, look, it takes 3 years for a woman to get her citizenship after she marries an American man. So that guy will get at least 3 years of a traditional woman until she gets her citizenship. And those 3 years are a lot more than they're going to get from the typical American woman nowadays. I can tell you that right now.
That's true. That's true. Just know it's like a subscription and not a lifelong thing. But it'll be a good...
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad was actually technically a passport bro. I mean, I don't think he went there with that intention. It just kind of happened that way. And it went well for him, but I do think some men find out the hard way that, women can that they still have the same issues overseas as well.
Well, they just have more power because they can manipulate guys a lot easier. So, you know, American women don't even take the time to study men. They're the other overseas, their survival depends on it.
Yeah, and also it depends where you're trying to be a passport bro. You know, there's a lot of variables. But yeah, definitely, I think women overseas think it's just so much better everywhere. And a big part of it also racism. A lot of women will be like, this country is so racist and so sexist. And I mean, I think show me a country that is less racist than America.
You know what? As a black person, I agree with you 100%. There is no better place to be a minority, period, than in the United States. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, we're debating like how we can braid our hair, you know, while minorities in other countries are fighting for like basic rights.
Yeah, no, exactly. Doug MP, you got anything else for her?
You said that your dad had to find out the hard way. How so? If you don't.
Oh, no, I'm saying it went well for my dad, but I'm saying
okay.
some men have to find out the hard way. Yeah, my parents are still together and stuff. It worked out for them. And like I said, he wasn't, I think, going there with that intention. It just kind of happened.
Was she, like Asian or something?
No, Eastern Europe.
Oh, okay. I can't see you right now. The video is kind of weird, so I can't see it. So I don't know if you're on camera or not, but.
Well, and just so, how do you think that women got to the point where there's so much anti-Americanism? Like, what happened? Like, if you could sum it up in like 45 seconds, like how did we get here?
I mean, you know, I'll use an analogy. I always grew up in areas that have great mountains. My father enjoyed skiing, so I've always been surrounded by mountains, and I've never really had an appreciation for too much for the outdoors or especially mountains and stuff like that. And I think, you know, when you are surrounded by complete freedom and just so many great opportunities, you don't appreciate it because you don't know what is on the other side.
Right. Totally.
Agree.
Thanks for calling in. Call in anytime, okay?
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Good. Okay, and then
My
last
2
but not
female
least,
viewers.
I know. Look at that. We've had a lot of women call into the show as of late. There's
I know.
another super chat.
I might have to start lying more. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, guys. All right, Eric, women only respect men operating from a position of strength. In other less modern countries, it doesn't guarantee success. It just provides opportunity to work from a position of power. It doesn't make them more honest.
Eric's on fire tonight.
Yeah, thank you, Eric. And you know what you get for that, right? USA! USA! Can I get one from you, Doug MPA?
USA! USA! All day. Let's go. Greatest country on earth.
The greatest country.
All right. And then last but not least, we have Tony. Guys, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share this video. And thank you for spending your 4th of July with us. We really appreciate it. Make sure to get through the 4th of July with all your fingers and toes, please. Tony, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Tony, thanks for calling in.
Oh, no worries. Thanks for having me.
So what are your thoughts? Why don't these women just leave? You know, they don't have to be here.
Yeah, like anytime a woman, you know, complains about America or North America, I just tell them to go to Afghanistan. And then they just shut right the hell up. Because we all know the women in Afghanistan, what they're going through compared to the women in America. And another thing is that they're just spoiled. Like, they're like spoiled children. Like, you know, when a spoiled brat, like, he just acts so like snobby and just like in your face. That's exactly that's exactly what they're doing.
Have you ever confronted a woman on it, like in person? Like, has that happened to you?
Oh man, it's usually online.
Okay.
Like, I don't know what it is. Like, yeah, the majority of like crazy feminist nut jobs are all online.
Yeah.
To be honest. And then, like, those are the ones that like I always argue with. It's like the ones in real life I actually like kind of get along with, and I kind of like spot the crazy ones easier in real life, so I
Yeah.
can kind of avoid them.
Yeah.
I don't know, they're just easier to spot in real life,
Okay.
and like you know who's cool and not cool. But the thing is, like the women in America, I think like they're not gonna have these, you know, I don't know if I can say it, but like they're not gonna have these rights forever, right?
Mhm.
Like eventually these rights are gonna go away. Like these privileges that they have, they're not, they're like unsustainable. And that's something that like we've been talking about in like the MGTOW community, because I'm part of the MGTOW community.
Mhm.
Yeah, and like eventually all of it's just gonna go away because we can't just keep throwing our tax dollars at female incentives. Eventually that money's gonna run out. So there's hope.
I don't know if it'll be in our lifetime. You think it will?
Yeah, like if you notice, it's getting worse by the year.
Okay.
Because like the government is pretty much going broke. Like we're trillions of dollars in debt,
Mm-hmm.
and the government can't afford to throw their money away at these causes as much as they used to back in the 70s.
Mhm.
That's why 70s, everyone loves the 70s. It was such a great time, right? Because the government was able to throw money at whatever programs, to assist women, minorities, or whatever, right? But now that money's actually running dry, and we're heading towards hyperinflation. Actually, like coincides economically.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, but anyway, yeah, it's unsustainable. Eventually things are going to get really bad, and then hopefully women will go back in the kitchen, and then it's like that saying, right? Like good men, what is a hard times create good men, and bad men create hard times.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
So-
thanks for calling in. Call in anytime.
worries.
All right.
Thanks.
Matt says just because I be typing a lot and felt like I should donate something. Thank you, Matt. You get for that, right? USA, USA.
There's a super chat on the website.
Okay, let me go back over there.
And see if there are any Pearl reads too.
Okay. Joseph says, yeah, I have a passport and I experienced Colombia, Mexico, and Ecuador. Yes, this country is great. Yeah, and I'm not saying Europe is basically Mecca for minorities. That's so true. Oh my God. I lived in East London. People that get it. Yeah, do you know what? For me, I appreciated America so much more when I went overseas. And there are things I loved about being overseas, like kebabs in Germany. I really enjoyed that. The architecture I really like, but it's not America. Go ahead.
Where would you say that a foreigner should come to America to get the real American experience? Because I can tell you, it's not DC, it's not New York. I hate the fact that so many foreigners go to New York City and think that that's America. It's not. New York City, I'm sorry, it's a toilet that needs to be flushed. Not as bad as California, but New York City is pretty bad. I think that if you're a foreigner, go to Texas. Big highways, big roads, big trucks, big food. Let's go. Go to Dallas, San Antonio, Houston, Austin.
LA, I would say. I think LA represents America. Chicago also. Do you know what? I also think go to a small town in middle America. I think that's a very unique experience. Like it's kind of weird. Like no one's gonna do it because it's not exciting. But if you can ever spend time in like a small town with like 1,000 people, I think that's a very uniquely America thing. Like these tiny towns in the middle of nowhere.
I would agree. It is. You have to be 1,000. Even 10,000.
Yeah.
People. Yeah. Yep. Middle America. I agree. Yep. Next up. Is this Marvin from the chat?
We'll see.
We have Marvin. Marvin's coming up. This is Marvin from the chat. He's always so enthusiastic in the chat. I'm hoping it's him so I can thank him for always being so supportive in the chat. Guys, make sure to like the video. In fact, in the chat, guys, where would you recommend a foreigner go to get the full American experience? What state? What city? Like I'd say Texas, Pearl says Chicago, or a small town in Middle America.
Do you know what? I think Wisconsin is weirdly American. Like, you got a lot of farmers in Wisconsin, you got a lot of normal people, a lot of friendly people. I might say Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah, the Madison, Wisconsin always gets in like the top 5 places to raise a family.
Oh, I believe it. I know. I have family that raises their kids in Wisconsin. They're saying Vegas. Well, that's one part of America. I can't.
Marvin's stuck joining.
Well, because I would, if I was gonna have someone have the America experience. The problem is there's so many cool parts of America. I would recommend stay in the city a few days, like a big city. Stay in the suburbs a few days and stay in a town in middle America to get the America experience. The cities can vary, but I've traveled a lot and I don't think that people are that different other than in New York. They're kind of rude, but I think America, I don't find the people in Dallas to be that different from Chicago or Atlanta. I've been to Atlanta. I didn't find them to be that different. Although the one time I got screamed at in public was in Atlanta. That did happen.
Well,
can you tell me all about Pearl Invite? Is it purely a learning resource or will it be a community? So it's going to be both. Basically, pearlinvite.com it's a one-time payment and it's a lifetime enrollment into our university. And what I'm going to do is I've already brought in some people to give courses on different things. And a example is we have administrative violence, which shows you how to use the justice system that women use against you, how to give women a taste of their own medicine. So that's one thing that's in there. Another thing is I brought in a child support officer who could also help you avoid higher child support payments. We also have but basically I interview all these smart, intelligent men, right? And especially, I have a move coming up soon. I haven't announced where yet, so we're going to wait before I tell you guys. But especially once I get to this next place, we're going to have people in and out a lot. Imagine if when Grant Cardone came on the show, I had him film a course for the university. How cool would that be? Wouldn't that be pretty cool? So, yeah, that's basically, we're going to fly a bunch of people in and they're going to give courses on the website. And if you buy now, you're in it for life. You're done. You're donezo. As long as I don't die or something. So you're basically, it's like an investment. You're saying, Pearl, I think you're going to keep being a YouTuber. I see you doing this forever. Because I do see myself doing this forever. And yeah, I want to bring in all the people. Anyways, so you guys get it. I forgot
Danielle.
Rich. Yeah, rich people too. Yeah. So everyone's
Danielle's
saying
talking a whole
Ohio,
bunch
and I
of-
would actually agree with that. I went to school in Ohio for a year. Sorry, go ahead.
Danielle is talking a whole bunch of crap in the chat. Call into the show, Danielle, and say it to her face.
Go ahead, Danielle. The link's in the chat.
Yep. Danielle,
I just want
hit
to know
that Zoom button.
how would you know if I cook? Do you follow me
Yeah.
around?
Yeah. Danielle, call in if you're acting. You know what? If you don't call in 2 minutes, I'm putting you in timeout for 24 hours. You got 2 minutes to call in. I better see you, and if you're not there in 2 minutes, you're banned for 4 hours for 24 hours. Okay.
Yeah, they said don't die. Well, I'm trying not to.
Let me try Marvin again. Marvin, it says joining. While he's joining, we'll bring in. Okay. Both the last two people, it just says joining. Okay. Akilroy Cap. It's all one word. No. A.K. Hilroy Cap. I'm not even saying it right, but it's a whole bunch of letters in a row. You're on the show, bud. You're on mute. Too sexy to show myself on the web, huh, Danielle? Well, now you're getting blocked for 24 hours. You can't.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you, Paul?
I'm good. So, what's your thought? Why don't women just leave? I hear an accent. Where are you from?
I'm actually in Canada right now, Nova Scotia.
Okay.
Halifax. Yeah, I just joined the meeting right now. What was the question again? Why do women leave?
All right. We're not. No, sorry. Nope. Can't do that. Nope. Go back to the beginning. We literally research and write monologues to the show the first 20 minutes. You're not going to walk in here and do that. Sorry. That is expressly forbidden. And the only time we're going to allow that is if someone has a blatant disagreement with Pearl. If you can interrupt the topic for that. If you have like a blatant disagreement and want to go back and forth, that's fine. But you can't just walk in here and do that. I'm not going to let that happen. So, sorry, Pearl.
That's fine. Yeah, I don't understand why you would call in if you don't know the topic. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And it says it in the title of the show. Are you serious? Yeah. So I don't see Danielle calling in, and she maybe in 24 hours when the timeout is up, she'll come in correct. Because there have been a lot of women talking trash in the chat, actually, especially the last couple of when you were doing the reactions the last couple of days, and I wish they would all call in and say it to your face.
They never do.
I know. But that's everybody.
Someone tweeted, "Screw you, bonnet lady, best quote of 2025." All right. Thanks, guys, so much for watching. Doug MPA, any final thoughts?
Yeah. These liberal women, they're just virtue signaling. They're trying to get clout and points, and that's it. And they know for a fact that if they were to move to a lot of other parts of the world, they'd have to give up something. They don't want to give it up. So they're getting their Marvin, I kept trying to let you in, but you wouldn't connect. Anyway, women don't want to give up anything they have, even when they say they will. And that's what it is.
I think a lot of these women would not survive in these third world countries. They have no idea how good men make their lives, how many men sacrifice so they can do the daily things that they do every day. Is that all you got for me, Doug MPA?
That's all I got.
Cool.
Great show.
All right, guys, thanks so much for watching today. Happy 4th of July. I'll do one more. USA. 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 Thanks for watching, guys. Like the video on your way out.